Serbia is part of the original Yugoslavia. So Serbia was comprised of Serbia, Montenegro, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Macedonia. So it used to be called Yugoslavia, and it was under the dictator Tetovo. But so Serbia was divided up in what they call the Balkanization. So it was an effort to give every ethnic group a piece of land. And it's weird because their history goes so far back. I mean, you look at maps, and every country has a map of their country when it was at its height. And that's what they believe they deserve. So you look at maps of Bulgaria, they have current maps, but most maps will have an outline of how big it used to be and the names of cities that were once theirs. And they fully believe that at some point, at some period in the future, that they will recapture their former glory. So that they'll go back into Greece and Turkey and take back the countries and the cities and stuff that used to be under their control. But they divided everything up in that region to stem the violence. I mean, the whole area was incredibly violent. And so, obviously Serbia is still a country, and now the last few years they've done some experiments with partnering with some of their previous sections, like Serbia, Montenegro became a country of two countries, if that makes any sense. Kind of like the United Kingdom has Ireland, Scotland, Great Britain and Wales. Even though Ireland's its own country, Scotland's its own country, England's its own country, but together they're the United Kingdom, if that makes any sense. So, but yeah, it was very interesting because they couldn't take missionaries from Croatia, even though they spoke much better Serbian, because Croatian and Serbian are very similar. And if you speak Croatian in Serbia, you will, I don't know, probably get attacked. I mean, they had some pretty serious wars. They have some really bad, history between the two countries. In fact, we actually were coming in because we had shipped Book of Mormons there on a pallet in like 1995 or something, and they're still in customs to this day. They'll never release them. So the way we got Book of Mormons into the country is we drove them in every time we visited. We put them in the back of our van and drive them in. And there was a very famous member of the church named Krasimir Ćosić, who is a Croatian, played basketball for BYU. He's I think he's in the NCAA Hall of Fame, national hero. Serbia, being a basketball star is a huge deal. They play basketball in Serbia. It's weird. I mean, everywhere else it's soccer, football, but in Serbia they're tall, beautiful people. So it's really like a shock when you leave like short, dark, very like Middle Eastern, and you cross the border from Bulgaria to Serbia, and it's just like tall. It's almost like Scandinavian looking people, and you're just like, this, it doesn't make as much sense. But he paid for the Book of Mormon to be translated into Serbo-Croatian at the time, and a bunch of other books. I mean, this guy was like a national superstar, and he was, all those things. So we have it, not in Serbian, but we had it in the other language. So we bring it in because they can read it. I mean, it's like just different dialects of basically the same language, but they have such bad blood that, when you get to the border, if they found the books, they would always be like, what the heck is this? Like, it's a book. They're like, well, it's in Croatian. I'm like, well, yeah, I haven't translated to Serbian yet. And they're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to let these through. And so we'd have interesting standoffs, when we go to the border to take missionaries in and whatnot. So